one thing is for sure. We'll definitely be in the mood to cast some StarCraft this weekend. Let's go ahead and hop on into our final best of 5 of the day. The main event, our PVZ, between a man from Germany and a man from Sweden. Jumy is ready. Namshar is ready. I am ready. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I've got my settings correct. I lately forget to put myself on busy. But nothing to worry about. The sun is setting. Another beautiful day, guys. In the life. Ooh. Not a lot of channel points being waged right now. Way more than in the previous series. Seems that you guys are believing in our man Jumy. I don't know. I honestly think this can be close. Jumy was amazing in that best of 5 against Lambo. But that obviously was a series where maybe Lambo wasn't totally on point. And for Jumy, it was one of these days where everything he touched turned into gold. I don't know if he can quite replicate that. And if he can do that all over again. But maybe he is a small favorite. We will see. Main event of the Big Brain Bouts brought to you guys by Basilisk. Week 26.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
In the top right side of Ancient, we are looking at the main base of our green Protoss. He is representing the lads from K10GG. This is ForJumy. We're expecting a lot of Stargate play out of him, a lot of Blink Stalkers. And after that, yeah, the world is kind of his oyster. There are many ways to play it out. In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of a man that I've been giving him some more love in the Big Brain Bouts. He's back in Europe. He was in Canada for a long time. I'm not exactly sure why he's back, but hopefully everything is good. He did not qualify for the ESL Masters, but he did get somewhat close. And he's obviously been around forever. Once upon a time, a household name in the top 16 of European tournaments. These days, a little less good, but still a great player. Storm Gaming's and Namshar has been doing very well in the Big Brain Bouts, though. I think it's fair to say that Namshar is an underdog, but you're never quite sure which Namshar is going to show up. And since I did give him a heads up of a couple of days, he knew that this was coming. He is good friends with Cyril, so maybe he asked Cyril for a tip or two. I don't know if that happened, but we will see how this one plays out. $150 on the line for the winner, $50 on the line for the loser. So it's obviously always nice for players to be invited to play in the main event. If you can win 150, you want to win 150. Namshar has taken the third base as is natural. That obviously means that it's going to be a bit easier for him to get creep going. It also means that drones are going to be forced to travel a little bit longer from the main before they can start mining. And the drones are going to be a little bit more exposed. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just joking, but I think I'm good now. Oh, don't lose the drone. You really don't want to lose the drone this early. The drone is in trouble. Why do we have Hive? Oh my goodness, the probe gets another hit off. But regeneration saves the day. And now it seems like in the end it will be the probe that falls, not the drone. It's a matter of time, guys. No, what? Okay. Does not want to chase it because I guess it's worried about the Adept showing up. So the probe will not fall. Now the Adept is looking for that one low HP drone because he knows that that is a one shot, one kill. Tries to get 2 shots off on a full drone instead. That will obviously not work. Namshar traditionally has always been a very, very macro-oriented Zerg. He is not the Zerg that's going to all-in you. He's not going to build hatcheries on the other side of the map. Namshar will not even necessarily scout crazy amounts. He will just do like the bare minimum of scouting, figure out what he needs to do to stabilize, and then slowly but steady bring it to the late game. I want to say the Adept movement has been good, but the Lings are chasing it down, and Namshar will be able to win this fight. We'll get at least one of the Adepts, and yeah, that's it. So a perfectly fine trade for Jumy there as well. It's 7 Zerglings in the end for a single Adept. I think that's very fair. Obviously, we always talk about, oh, you don't want to lose gas units, but it's not that Adepts are sentries and they cost 100 gas. And killing 7 Lings, totally fine. Oracle has tried to take an awkward route into the main base. Will show up, activate Pulsar Beam. Takes a lot of damage. Jumy with the misclick. Will not end up losing it, but took a lot of damage there. As the Lynx is still battling the Adept, and it's the Probe in the end that cleans it up. As Namshar for a split second there had 13 drones in the production tab. That's a crazy amount this early on. Maybe he was playing it safe for a split second when he didn't necessarily know what was coming, but he scouted the Stargate with his Overlord. Like the Overlord was deep into the main base. So maybe a small blip, small hiccup in the macro department there, but beautiful thing about Zerg, guys, is that you can just queue up as many drones as you have larva for. In that way, it's a little bit more forgiving than the other races. Adapts are going to try to shade into the naturals. Well, they don't even shade into the naturals. They just walk into the natural. But Namshar is here. They'll end up losing 2 drones by the looks of it. Now the adapt shade into the 3rd base. It's definitely starting to add up, right? Now 1 additional drone will fall, so it's 5 drones and a lot of lost mining time. In the end, 5 adapts have died. Jumi has gone for triple Oracle. That's literally the only army he currently has out on the map. As his shield battery is a bit exposed, the low HP Oracle is going to try to keep these probes safe. As the other 2 Oracles that are still full HP are activating Pulsar Beam on the other side of the map. It felt that was a little bit risky for Jumi. When you literally have 3 battle units and all 3 of them are energy based. But oh, that's not good, Jumi. You don't want to have your Zealot just chasing after links. We have a stasis trap. Will that stasis trap be activated by drones? Oh my god, what? Well, okay. That was probably not the way to deal with that stasis trap, guys. There was a slightly better way to take care of that. Overall, I think that Jumi is quite happy with how this game has gone. In the first 6.5 minutes, this is the dance that we're very familiar with. This is kind of the meta in PvZ at the moment. You open up with a few oracles. Oracles and adapts, they scout to A, make sure everything is normal. B, they can keep you safe if you're being attacked. And then C, you're looking for damage. Namshar is very good at rebuilding the workers though that he has lost, and his economy is perfectly fine. It's going to be a 4-base Zerg in the near future. He has a couple of links active and actually doing a good job in denying Jumi from going up to 4 bases. Namshar now knows about the Archons, will know about the Zealots with charge. 80 drones, by the way, man. I want to say it's impressive. Hello, Pi. You're still loving the frogs, mate. I don't know. I'm speechless. My viewers like frogs and bees. Out of all the cute animals that are out there, the frog and a bee. As Jumi is going to try to get some multi-prong happen with Zealot, Archon, Oracle on the top side of the map. Zealot's can a very easy cancel on the hatchery at the bottom. This is where it's obviously difficult for Namshar to figure out where he needs his units. You don't want to give the Zealot too much surface area on your queens. There are some roaches and links helping out. Transfuse. Not the best queen micro there. Now a couple of Zealots make it into the main base. Jumi really does play entertaining PvZ. You look at the minimap and you always see 2 or 3 little armies moving around, looking for damage, looking for freebies. And maybe in that regard, Namshar is a perfect dancing partner for him, because Namshar likes to be very defensive. So Jumi can just kind of do his thing, and then it's up to Namshar to have bulletproof defense. I don't know if it's quite been bulletproof, but it's been solid. The supplies favor Namshar. Obviously, tech is going to favor Jumi. The only thing that Namshar really has to get excited over is maybe this +2 melee upgrade. That is obviously going to play a big role. By the way, guys, the semi-finals with the ESL Masters are best of 5s as well, right? Only grand finals are best of 7. So Clem Serral, that's not going to be played tomorrow. Maybe it is tomorrow. No, that's final day. Clem Serral is a best of 5 on... I wonder what Serral even vetoes. Maybe Babylon. We have a storm going down. Namshar setting up some run-bys, but there are stasis traps everywhere. It's going to be very difficult for these banelings to connect. It's right before +2. It's a bit of an anti-timing. If that was 1+2 Baning, it would have been 10 plus probes dying. It's a lot of Zerg over here, guys, but with the batteries, the cannons, the oracles, I don't think that Namshar is going to get too much done. Is there a couple of zealots of Jumy waiting? Won't get too much done. More Banelings stuck in stasis traps. As the War Prism now shows itself in the top left side, there is a double Prism action. Prism in the main base and Prism in the top left side. It's obviously fun to look at. Jumy is kind of getting overwhelmed though, as he was a little bit late to move that Prism. We have Zealous once more running into the 9 o'clock base. This game is also delivering. We thought it was going to be close between these two. Well, 10 minutes into game 1, your guess is as good as mine. Jumy does have the fleet beacon, but Namshar has all the map vision in the world, has a bit of money in the bank, has a lot of Banelings with +2. It seems that Jumy just says, alright, as long as I'm a 4-base Protoss and I will weather this storm, I am gonna be okay. GG's Vindicta. Was a great series, mate. Very well done. Happy for you. As the storm is going to land, it's going to soften up a couple of units. Banelings will not connect with the probes. Wow, an Archon just died to storm. Talking about an interaction that you almost never see. But an Archon dying to a storm there, guys, towards the end of all of that. Jumy definitely doing a good job in limiting the amount of damage that Namshar is able to find. As Namshar right now fires up the Hive, the Spire, the Hydra Den. But it's all going to take a little while before that kicks in. That is a lot of Lings, and if the Lings can get surrounds on the Archons, and the Archons are away from shield batteries, yeah, then Lings is certainly not too shabby. I still think that Jumy is doing a very good job. He just kind of said, alright, I'm a 4-base Protoss, and I am completely happy with being a 4-base Protoss. I believe that I can do everything that I want to do. I can get the upgrades, I can get the carriers, I can get the transition. All I need to do is protect my Probius. And I think he's kind of right, man. Because obviously Namshar does not have a crazy amount of bases. Namshar's got 5. So 1 more than Jumy. Jumy is feeling confident enough to still warp in Zealots on the other side of the map. The Zealots will go forward. Get a Ravager, get a couple of Roaches. As we have a couple of Zealots being a nuisance as well. The bottom side of the map. Even a Dark Shrine is on our production tab. And the Mama ship. And Jumy feels now, after weathering the storm and stabilizing on 4 bases for quite some time, he says this is the moment that I can go up to 5 bases. When we see Ranger in the BBB, if Ranger wants to play, I will gladly invite him. We can even do that next week. As Banelings do connect with a couple of the High Templars, obviously Namshar cannot stick around forever. And as the Nexus does get warped in the top side of the map. I have tried to invite players from Asia in the past, but everybody just hates the starting times. They're just like, oh, that time doesn't work for me. And then the only time that ever really works is 6 PM. But that's obviously the smallest match out of the 4. So then I feel a bit bad if we have like a 6K player playing in the first series of the day. Hello, Fjant. I do think that Jumy has done everything that was key for him, guys. He has stabilized, he has protected his probes. He's gonna land a couple of monstrous storms here on the Lings. Yeah, Lings with +2 melee are good. But against storms, when they are that clumped up, the Lings are not all that good. And Jumy's army is starting to get pretty damn scary here towards the end of game 1. Well, I think it's the end of game 1. Even the air upgrades, by the way. I want to give this man some props. I quite often see carrier transitions and they're slacking on air upgrades. They're kind of slow. Jumy is all over it. Maybe he knows that I'm watching. Maybe he knows that I care. But like 14-minute game where he didn't open Stargate units and care about upgrades from the very get-go. And then already having +3 halfway done, I think is very solid. I think this is very, very solid for Jumy. Of course, it can be quicker. But he didn't initially invest in air units. He was investing in Storm, in Zealots, in Archons. So, to have this as a follow-up transition and then still have such quick upgrades is very good. Did you have a chance to ask TLO if he wants to play yet? No, I did not have that chance. As we have a corrosive ball landing on a High Templar. The Templar does die immediately. It's a bit of a shame for Jimmy, but it does feel that this Protoss army, man. I don't think there is enough NTR. Maybe with Spore Crawler help. We've got 5 Spore Crawlers on the map, but that's not that crazy many. Obviously, if these carriers had no upgrades or only +1, it'd be like, oh yeah, I think that Namshar can be fine here, but we are literally looking at +3 air weapons finishing up in 10 seconds from now. So Storm, Archons, and Interceptors with +3 air weapons. That just feels like a fight that is almost impossible to take. Namshar says, well, Roddy, hold my beer. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Skull, pros, but carriers too good, man. Carriers with these upgrades are simply too good. And after 15 minutes, it is K10 for ForJumy, who takes the 1-0 lead in the main event of the evening. Fun game, good game, with a lot of trades, a lot of back and forth. Jumi just had awesome defense when he was trying to stabilize on 4 bases. All the cannons, the batteries, the stasis traps. He did a very good job in spreading out his army defensively. And I kind of like the approach of, you know, let's just try to get 4 bases. Let's have 80 plus probes. Let's protect it. Then we transition. And then we get a 5th base. And that was a very good game plan by Jumi. I think he played very well. Let's see what game 2 is going to bring us. Night Phoenix says 3-0 for ForJumy. It could be. I never hope for a 3-0, but I have to admit, after almost 9 hours and a lot of casting, this is not a moment where I would hate the 3-0. Because I am running out of steam. But at least I have a chill weekend ahead of me. I'm just going to go ahead and cast some ESL Masters with Ben and Wardy. That is slightly easier than these grave shifts on my own channel. Bloodbino says Jumi is very good at the moment. Well, when I contacted Jumi, he said he's not very good at the moment. He said, Roddy, I would love to play. I always want to play, but I do warn you, I'm out of shape. I'm not very good. No, I was like, all right. Maybe the Big Brain Bouts can bring back the GOAT. The greatness that we know that this young man from Germany can bring.
Round 2, fight!
In the top left side of Greswan, we are looking at the main base of the man that is representing K10. Hailing from Deutschland, a very solid 1-0 lead. This is Jumi. A little bit late night, Phoenix, but I appreciate it. And GG's to you as well today. It was fun. In the bottom right side of Greswan, we are looking at the main base of our Swedish legend. Once upon a time, a lot of top 16s at offline events, even the top 8 here and there. In the year 2023, he is the underdog as he opens up with a pool, guys. Okay. This is Namshar. Psystorm Gaming's Namshar. Shout out to KJ, the absolute legend. Yeah, I'm sure that Jumi expected a bit more of the DreamHack Mass, or the ESL Masters, we should call it. It's not DreamHack Masters. I have to sneeze. I apologize. But yeah, that's obviously right. The journey that everybody is on. It can't always go your way. Very few people just have the never-ending rise to the top. You can, for instance, say that Raynor has had that, but it's a bit of an exception. Even if you think of Clem, guys, for the longest time, Clem really wasn't the Clem that we know right now. Clem was a hyped-up youngster for a while that just couldn't break into the top 8 at an offline event. And he was going to quite a few. And then Raynor turned 16 and everyone was like, oh, Raynor and Clem. And then Raynor just kept on getting better and kept on winning tournaments. And for Clem, it really wasn't the same. That young man just had to keep on working. And it just took a little longer. A year, 2 years longer than it took Raynor before he ever reached the top. But hey, ever since he joined, he never left. That is for sure. Your birthday was 2 days ago and you still not wrote me anything. Happy birthday, Night Phoenix. Alright, we have a couple of... Ooh, I love that. That was a good save by Jumi. It is a bit of a weird wall-up right now, though. It's going to stay a weird wall-up, but obviously once the adapt is out, I do think he's going to be fine. Hello? Oh, what? But this is still a double gap. What is this wall-up, Jumi? Alright, Probe is now on the wrong side of the wall off. It will die. He's taking notes out of Hero, guys. It's like, alright, Hero has the most random and ugliest walls out there. And they say he's the PvZ god. If Hero can do it, I'm gonna do it. Yes, the Adept gets one shot off on the drone. In the end, this is an abomination of a wall-off. I'm sorry. I know that they say all wall-offs are beautiful and wall-offs have feelings too, but I think it's important to call a spade a spade. It's an absolute abomination of a wall-off. And now there are two links that are really finding a decent amount of damage here. Probe has already died. The other probe's not mining. I think one more probe could be in danger. Now we have a Zealot and two Adepts is going to town on the hatchery in the top right side. That's why these links were able to find some damage. I don't know. I think that is going to be fine for Namshar. He's going to bleed out a few more links. It is important to not forget about the oracles though. Sometimes when a weird early game takes place, you start forgetting about the things that always happen. And that's obviously an oracle flying to the other side of the map. And this is actually an interesting play here by Jumy. Obviously made himself vulnerable to sending these units to the other side of the map. In the end, Namshar will have enough links out. These links will surround the Adept. We'll get the second Adept too, as Namshar is doing a good job. But now do we have our Spore Crawlers in time? Wait, what? He goes for the Queen? I guess you win that fight. I think Namshar should have just continued fighting there, by the way. That would have been slightly better. Or maybe walk like towards here and send the other Queen here, but if you know a unit is 100% gonna go down, you may as well just continue to fight. Now Jumy's follow-up. Oh my god, Jumy. Guys. Alright, he fixed it. Sure, man. Sure. Alright. This is sick. Cool. What a wall. Alright, we have the lair on the way. Namshar is sitting at 46 drones, but he's going to lose a couple because he's building extractors. Now he's going to try to crank out a few more. The follow-up is Resonating Glaive Adepts. Does Namshar know? Roachhorn goes down right now. I want to say we're cutting that very close, guys. I don't know how many gateways we are looking at. It's 4. Oh, man. Namshar is now going to see this Stalker. And he's actually going to kill the Stalker. And that's obviously great and all. But what he needs to do, guys, is get ready for a whole bunch of Adepts. He will at least see all of these Adepts being warped in. What he does not know yet is that a bunch of them are already here. That might work out for Namshar if he can just fight one group of Adepts at a time. He's going to go ahead and take this fight immediately. It's Lings and Queens. Yeah, that's actually not too bad, I think, for Namshar. Even though he only gets one, though. He only gets one, and now they have synced up with the rest of the squad. Some serious squad vibes here. This is going to be very hard for Namshar. Because the Queens will not always be there. The main base and the Natural are not connected by creep, and that means that these Adepts and the Oracle are going to have a field day in the main base of Namshar. I would go for the Spore Crawler here. Well, there are a couple of roaches out. Yeah, I didn't like that stasis trap too much. I think it's a bit too obvious. And he goes for the Spore, but Namshar is going to try to keep this Spore Crawler alive. Finally, it will fall. Excellent defense by Namshar. I really got to give him kudos. This could have been such a disaster. But he actually defended that incredibly well. I think maybe Jumy could have played it with a bit more urgency. And instead of going for the stasis trap, just shade into the mineral line with the Adepts. Activate Pulsar Beam, kill a couple drones. I think that would have been a better way to play it out, but still well done by Namshar. If you do have a bunch of Adepts with Glaive shitting into that 3 o'clock base, as the Oracles now try to get lucky, but this time around the Queen count is higher. And that Spore Crawler is still there. Say GG. Who's going to say GG, mate? I think Namshar is in an alright spot. This could have all been so scary. He could have taken so much damage, but he didn't. Saves 4 bases, saves the vast majority of his drones. He does need some laser overlords. Let's go ahead and get 9 of them. Oh my god, Jumy. Man, Jumy is struggling with building buildings over here, guys. What? What? Wait, what? I guess, is it slightly more to the right? Or... I don't know, man. Now we can at least mine. Yeah, I guess it was a bit more towards the left first. Yeah, he moved it. Okay. It does look very funny, but yeah, I guess now it's fine, and before it wasn't fine. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess it was completely blocking the gas. Sure, look, it works. Alright, we have Storm on the way, 75% done, and Namshar has a couple of roaches waiting for a run by. That would excite our man Piggy. If there is one thing that makes Pig's heart beat a little bit faster, it's a roach run by. And as the first pylon falls, the backup pylon though, the new and improved pylon, will hold the line. Jumi already dropping a fleet beacon, 67 workers this time around. I think it's ambitious. Namshar is gonna go full Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm for us. A whole lot of roaches and a whole lot of ravages. Yeah, the Archons look cool. Looks like they have a portal on their back. I'll miss the Archon to some degree, but I'm sure that in Stormgate we're gonna have plenty of awesome units to get very hyped over. I'm not worried, guys. 116 supply for Namshar against the 57 for Jumi. I really think that this air transition is early. We do have a good old stasis. That's gonna freeze up a whole bunch of road supply immediately. We gotta be a little bit careful here with Zealots, because Zealots can be derpy and can be too far ahead of the rest of the party. Jumi's stasis traps is just a proper bane in the existence of Namshar. Everywhere he goes, everywhere he looks, units are stuck. Still think we're doing quite alright. There is a mama ship on the way for Jumi, as he does land a nice storm on a couple of these Hydras. Gonna push this back. Jumi is making it look very easy to kind of like split up your army and have an army at the top and have an army at the bottom. He's doing this very well. I like it. As a couple of Hydras are morphing into Lurkers. Lurkers are obviously going to be very problematic for this army of Jumi to deal with. Jumi also only has a single observer. But we still have the Oracles. Oracles can drop revelations. I'm gonna dream about stasis traps going off tonight. I think that much is for sure. The sounds, guys. As a couple of the lurkers, or at least one of them, do get caught in the center of the map. Namshar is doing his absolute best here with a triple prong attack to break Jumi. He does get an Archon. Jumi is running a little bit low in units. We could maybe go for an overcharge, but maybe he's using it at the bottom. Nope. He's got stasis traps and storms here. This Immortal does get picked off though, and I think this is kind of where you guys can see that I was a bit surprised. But at super early transition as the High Templars is so freaking exposed. Namshar takes out the High Templars, takes out the Immortal. And even though the Mama ship is out and the first carrier is out, I feel that if Namshar just goes pedal to the metal here and full sense it, only build units, mate. I know you're sitting on love minerals, not love gas, but spend it one way or the other. And I think you will break him. Especially with a lurker right now in range of the mineral line. There is still only one observer. That observer is not where it's supposed to be. There's no detection right now, guys, for this lurker. Triangle base is in dire straits. This mineral line is in dire straits. And there are more and more Hydras. I believe they like to call it the mean killing machine, and that's truly what it is. Look at these interceptors dying one by one. Look at this lurker. Just racking up kill after kill. That's a lot of High Templars. I don't know where we got that gas from. We even have a time warp landing. The High Templars are cornered, nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Jumi's gonna try to morph a couple of them into Archons, but the floodgates truly are open. The swarm is here in overwhelming numbers. And even though Namshar, his mineral to gas saturation wasn't quite perfect with 2400 minerals, Psystorm Gaming's Namshar does tie things up, gets the job done. Good game. I think that what Jumi did so well, and what I complimented Jumi for in that previous game, is that he treaded that very fine line while going Archons, Zealots, Immortals, and then he transitioned at a good moment. I think in this game, we got a bit carried away. We were nowhere near maxed out. We had a tiny army. We were not that bulletproof. And then he already dropped the fleet beacon, went into carriers, fired up a mothership. Just a lot of things that are ultra expensive without having like a very good read on what Namshar is doing, how committed will Namshar be. This would have worked if Namshar would have played ultra passive and he would have just chilled, but clearly Namshar was trying to make something happen. A bit carried away. Sure, mate. We can roll with that. Alrighty. Game 3. Main event. Big Brain Bouts. Week 26. We had the WTO early today. We played a couple other games. And here we are in our final best of 5 of the night. Are you guys entertained? Give me some love, nerds. Give me some love. Give me some hype.
Are you not entertained?
You should be. Because I think these games have been pretty good tonight.
Round 3. Fight!
In the bottom right side of Babylon, we're looking at the main base of the man who came into this main event as a small favorite, but we're all tied up after 2. Hailing from Deutschland, representing K10, this is ForJumy. In the top left side of Babylon, we are looking at the main base of our Swedish legend, Heya Svariga, will once more go spawning pool before hatchery. What? Wait, what? What is this? What? Oh my goodness. Jummy's building a pilot on the other side of the map. I didn't see that. And Namshar is going to send the drones immediately. What is this? What is this? Jummy with the Coco strategies here did not build a pylon at home. He built his pylon on the other side of the map and he tried to wall Namshar in with gateways. What is this? Coco! Can somebody tell me why Coco has taken control of Jummy's setup? Well, that definitely got denied. Now, Jummy's gonna try. Wait, but you cannot go Nexus first against a guy with 14 pool. You gotta drop a Forge, no? Yeah. But I even think that's late. If Namshar builds nothing but links here and he rallies those links to the other side of the map, the links will get in. I promise you guys, they will get in. I know my timings. There are 6 links on the production tab. I do not believe that Jummy can get away with this. I really don't think he can. The drones are still attacking this pylon. Well, it's one drone. Here are the links. The links may give Jummy a little bit of extra time. Nope, Namshar is not going to give him that time. He's going to see it. Well, that cannon is going to finish up rather quickly. So it seems like it's okay. Full wall off. Obviously, pylon in the wall is not ideal, but well, I guess Jummy will be fine. Gateway has too much HP. Cannon will finish up. What spawning pool was this, guys? Was this a 15 pool? Okay. It was pool before hatch, but it was obviously not ultra early. I'm genuinely surprised that Jummy can build a pylon and 2 gateways, cancel that. I guess by cancelling it, just get all the money back, and instead of like the Nexus going up or the Forge going up way before the Nexus or the Nexus way before the Forge, right now you suddenly have an influx of money because the initial investment got returned. And your Nexus is later than it normally is, but that will make your Forge a little bit quicker because you were trying to spend your money here. So I guess that kind of makes some sense. Good crisis there. Good crisis management there in the end by Jummy. If he would have gone for the Nexus into gate, he'd be ultra dead. Nexus into Fort. Wow, that's early though to take out this pylon this quickly. The thing is, this is going to be another bad wall. Because he does not have enough space to really build something here. It's not going to be a great wall. I don't know if he's going to manage it. Maybe here? Is this going to expand right now, Jummy? I mean, it's not a bad call if that's what he ends up doing. Because Namshar obviously did pull a lot of drones initially to battle that pylon and prevent whatever weird strategy Jummy had in mind. I think Hellraiser... Yeah, this is now a wall, by the way. I think Hellraiser tried to do it against Serral, right? With like a gateway... Gateways here and pylon here on Babylon. So maybe Jummy was inspired by Hellraiser? That's quite something. But yeah, since Namshar was gasless, I guess Jumi can go up to 3 bases very early on. And this is completely safe. I'm not sure what the screen is up to. It's been a long day for all of us, apparently. Queen is just chilling right now. Way off creep, center of the map. Following the Overlord. The Void Ray. No, with the amount of Overlords that are out and about, if the Void Ray gets 2 Overlord kills, it's already reasonable, apparently. That's what one of the pros said. I don't trust them, guys. I think the Void Ray investment is big. Now, could this be Void Ray into Zealots with charge, or Void Ray followed up by a bunch of Adepts with glaive? Queen is the bodyguard of the Ovi. Yeah, but the Ovi was not in trouble. I mean, the economy is definitely heavily favoring Namshar. Despite the fact that Jumi still did a good job in getting 3 bases up and running very quickly. A Zerg is not supposed to be 11 workers ahead in a 5-minute and 20-second game. This is basically where the Protoss takes the lead. So Namshar is definitely entering the mid-game of a nice little launch pad. He's just gonna have more stuff than he normally does. Now last game, he got away with it, but obviously at one point, way too many minerals in the bank and not enough gas in the bank. So it is important for Namshar that he babysits that a little bit better. Because I think if Jumi would have just spent his resources in a slightly different manner than the fleet beacon and all the stargates, that really could have been something that would have made the difference between winning and losing. We now have the Void Ray activating Prismatic Alignment to work on an extractor, guys. We've came a very long way. I will never forget that one very weird map in the early days of Wings of Liberty, where it was like, there's a lot of dead space between bases. I'm not talking about one of the ultra obvious one, it came a little bit later, but it was a dream map for one base Void Ray all-ins. You can basically just build your Void Ray at home, and then you took like 3 steps, and then you were already there, and you could back it up with Stalkers. Stalker Void Ray Rush, 1 base against Terran. Probably did it like 50 times. Enjoyed it every single time. I don't know how I did that, but I just loved it each and every single time. No, a little way earlier than Newkirk. But I'm not talking about like Dason's. What's the map of the? Damn it! I'm very bad with map names. I always forget them. It was a map with lava. And it got removed rather quickly. Very tiny map, very weird. Basically, like sort of a half triangle. That's how the bases were located. No, like Scrap Station is the obvious one that I was thinking of, but that's not the one that I meant. I'd have to look it up. I don't think any of you guys will guess it. As one of the High Templars gets sniped immediately, the second one goes down as well. Guys, if you talk about a timing, 2 seconds before Storm is done, Namshar just rushes in there, bomb rushes the Protoss army, and he gets 2 out of the 3 High Templars before a single Storm went off. Nice warp in there, but obviously that Zealot is going to get picked off. And as I said, Namshar is entering the mid-game with a way better economy than he normally does. I love the roaches with tunneling claws and burrow. That's going to create a lot of chaos. At this point, there really is barely any detection. Jumi is going to end up losing a decent amount of probes here. The only question is, how many? Namshar is throwing away a lot of units, to be fair. And I hope for Namshar's sake that he's going to get a little more than he's currently getting done. 16 probes is decent. The High Templar is decent. Get that cannon as well. I think that's very important. Jumi's actually doing very good here. It started off in an absolutely horrific manner. It's a shame for Jumi that he didn't have a shield battery there to maybe save some of these power units, but... Ooh, okay, Jumi doesn't know. Just like Scotty. Jumi doesn't know, but Jumi has a cannon! And that cannon is gonna let Jumi know that this is happening, and he's gonna try to get... Oh my goodness, all these roaches are stuck, man! All these roaches are stuck. At least a couple of them are able to run into the main base, and now they can start burrowing all over the place. Man, that was scary. That could have been a nightmare for Namshar. I think, I don't want to say a force field, because obviously they could have burrowed again. But it kind of felt that a lot of roaches were supposed to die. Nice on burrow right underneath the Archon. It's going to allow Namshar to get the Archon. Once more, the resources are starting to pile up a little bit in the bank of Namshar. Is one more Immortals by itself. High Templars are exposed as well. How many High Templars can we get? We got 2 so far. Gets 3 out of 5 and forces the other team to morph into an Archon. There are 17 roaches on the production tab. There is Zerg chaos right now, guys. Still roaches in the back of the main base, roaches in the third base as well. I mean, we were talking about Wings of Liberty. Now we are looking at roaches and tunneling close. And if that's not perfect, I don't know what is. We had Night Phoenix in the chat saying this was going to be an easy 3-0 for ForJumy. Well. This is when they get a little quiet, eh? As another queen does fall. This is like one of these split moments when Namshar just needs to make sure that he keeps on top of his own economy. The base saturation, it looks alright. Maybe we can transfer a couple of drones. No, he's actually already done that. Sneak out a few more drones, saturate the fourth base. I do think that's a good call. As Jumy has a war prism, so he too is going to try to make some chaos happen. There are no roaches here. Queen is going to fall rather quickly. That Void Ray is putting in some serious work here today. High Templars are once more exposed, but they do land some good old fat storms. I think there is one more storm. No energy. No energy on this little guy. And that little guy does get sniped off. Jumy drops to 85 supply. Nemtu is still at 150. A lot of it in production, a lot of it in the bottom side of the map as a good old stasis trap. Oh, I've missed the stasis trap, trapping a lot of units. We'll keep Jumy in it a little while longer. Biggest problem for Jumy, guys, that he just keeps on losing the power units, right? Every High Templar that he warps in gets picked off. Every Immortal is a little bit too exposed and it gets picked up by roaches. No roaches in the main base, roaches in the third. I think this will do it. You want a storm? Namshar says, be my guest. And storm your own mineral line as the final cannon falls. Even less detection than we already had before. The man has done it, guys, with the Wings of Liberty tactics. Roaches in the main, roaches in the third. Couple of zealots will never do the same amount of damage. And as these roaches reliving the glory days of Wings of Liberty. Jumy is on the hopium or the copium right now. It's one of the two. I still don't quite know what the difference is. Goblin can explain it, Cuckoo can explain it, and Trigger could not explain it either, but he's on one of them. I mean, if he wants to fight, we let him fight, right? I'd rather see players stick in the game a little bit longer than they should than give up too early and make us wonder. And obviously Jumy does not know about the 5th base yet. Does land 1 or 2 nice storms. Now hits us with the pulse. Now that's serious copium, I think. The pulse, Namshar is a veteran. And Namshar is always a super polite and sweet guy. And I'm sure that he is cracking a little smile right now. It's like, really? You're pausing, mate? I've taken out... You guys want to play the guessing game? How many probes have died? We are 12 minutes into this game. How many probes have fallen on Babylon? Sorry, battery. Go. I'm gonna say that the correct... Okay, this game is about to end, by the way. Well, we have one more Immortal coming out. There's a stasis, Trappy. Good stasis. I'm gonna say 75. 63. Did somebody guess 63? No one knew it. A couple of you nerds were close, but not that close. As the roaches and hydras have reached the natural. One more Immortal fighting. I don't know which battery was low. Maybe it was the one of the mouse. But it's time to charge it a little while longer as GG gets called. And Namshar takes the 2-1 lead in our main event over Jumy. Which I definitely do think is a bit surprising. Jumy tried to go full Coco here on Babylon. Or full Hellraiser. And obviously his initial rush got shot down. It was kind of an awkward game ever since. And at one point you're like not totally sure how bad or how good is this really. But we just saw it in the worker tab that Namshar's worker lead was way bigger at minute 5 than it normally is in a standard PvZ. And obviously the Void Ray is not exactly the unit that's going to snipe a bunch of probes. If Namshar didn't hit that picture perfect timing the very first time around he showed up and sniped 2 out of 3 High Templars that had energy, maybe Jumy could have held. It was obviously already somewhat close, but... Bullmai wins by the Price is Right rules. I don't know if I play by those rules, mate. We play by the rules that let Roddy win. I don't know if there were any rules. I was kind of off, not totally off, but 12 works obviously a decent amount. We are waiting for game 4 to go up. Namshar taking the 2-1 lead. You were closest by any rules. What was your guess, Bully? How do you know the timing? There's no way that you know the timing. Like, obviously, StarCraft is a game where the skill level is very high, and these guys are incredibly good. But don't be under the, how do you call that? Impression that everything is always mapped out and is a timing. Because, like, Namshar has no experience in playing a game where he kind of denies a pylon gateway at the bottom of his ramp, pulled some drones, sent the drones back, made a couple links, couldn't break in, and Jumy went quick 3 bases. Like, this is a unique game. There is no game that either Namshar or Jumy has played that has that exact same moment of roaches showing up to snipe those High Templars. So it was obviously a bit of luck, but hey, you obviously need to create your own luck. If you don't try, you'll never get lucky. Namshar tried, and he showed up at a very fine, lovely moment for him, which means he has taken the 2-1 lead in the main event of the Big Brain Bouts. And let's see what game 4 brings to the table.
Round 4. Fight!
A little bit of game sense. You can definitely call it game sense. But even with game sense, obviously there's always some luck, right? StarCraft 2 is a game of incomplete information, and there are certain things you just cannot possibly know. No matter how good you are, I can guarantee you not even Sero or a Rainer or a Dark would know that Storm finishes up 2 seconds earlier or later. That's just not a thing. In the top right side of Royal Blood, we are looking at the main base of our German Protoss. He was the favorite. Now he's down 1-2. He took out Lambo not too long ago. He's now down 1-2 versus the man from Sweden. This is K10's ForJumy. Give my Jumy some love, guys, if you guys want to see our second game 5 of the evening. In the bottom left side of Royal Blood, we are looking at the main base of our man from Storm Gaming. Always want to give some love for KJ, because just like some of the other things in StarCraft, Storm has been around for a long time, and they have done a lot of good things for the StarCraft 2 community. This is Namshar. Up 2-1. Was successful the last time we saw him play in the Big Brain Bouts. I feel like he did lose one time as well, right? Maybe this is his 4th time already, or is it the 3rd time? I feel like he lost to a Terran. It's been a lot of weeks with StarCraft. And these days we are literally casting almost every single day. It was a lot easier for me to remember every game when I would just go to an event, cast a couple games and go home. Because then that's obviously the only thing that your focus is on. When you're at home and you're casting 20, 30 games a day and you're reading chat and you're following different streams, then it's basically impossible to keep them all separated. Namshar will once more not take the natural, but he's going to take the 3rd base. I obviously hope you guys had a fun day of StarCraft. I hope that the ESL Masters was awesome. If you guys have any questions or comments, obviously feel free to let me know. I do appreciate it. A little bit of love goes a long way. Will the future BBB have maps of the TOMC, like one time to test them? That is not a bad idea, but obviously I would have to contact the players and I would have to see if... yeah, it's a bit tricky if the maps are not properly tested, because it would really suck if somebody wins an epic best of 5 by abusing some sort of a bug on a map that's not quite ready. But if we know that the maps are finalized, approved and safe, then I'll gladly use them, yeah. Thank you, Tiwa. I'll do my best. I'm excited to cast with Ben, guys. It will be the very first 2 days of the season that our good friend Benjamin Baker, the Muslim, is casting. And that's nice, isn't it? Haven't we missed Benny a little? I have. I think it's always good vibes with Ben. Ben, Wadi. I think it's going to be a lovely little trio to finish up the tournament. Maybe there will even be a Protoss in the top 4. PvP and Steps of War only? No, I'll pass on that. So a decent amount of links, guys. Namshar has definitely made a few more links than he did in some of these previous games. There are 14 of them. Jumy's Oracle's on the other side of the map. And these two adepts are going to have, I want to say, a tough time. But Namshar feels he cannot take that fight. I would have taken that fight. he was winning, no? He already did the hard work. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't continue taking that fight there. Well, in the end, these links didn't accomplish a whole lot. Sure, they grabbed a single adept, but that's about it. Golden Wall was a great map, to be fair. Some of the Clem games. Clem against Showtime on Golden Wall, that gave us some proper hype moments. Or the Scarlet games. And was it always M. Kenning, right? M. Kenning with the Mothership Rush on Golden Wall and the big recalls into the main base of the Zerg. I liked Golden Wall. Golden Wall was cool. As we have the two oracles of Jumi. Flying into the natural of Namshar. The OG natural. As he dropped the revelation and sniped the Cryptomer with Pulsar Beam. It's not bad actually to pick up the Cryptomer that's connecting these bases. Obviously that is one that Namshar's gonna have to replace immediately. What's happening in ESL Americas, by the way, guys? Since that is still going on, I'd love to get a little update for our basically end of a long StarCraft today. I did not see anything of the Americas. I guess Kalazur is a big favorite over Kalazur. Kalazur is a big favorite over Masa. There we go. I'm losing it. As we have 4 adepts shading into the natural Namshar. Now there's 3 drones falling. One of the adepts does die, but the main base is a, I want to say, juicy target. I mean, pulling the drones away is nice, but if you then just send them back immediately, that doesn't really do a whole lot for you. As Jeremy is finding a tremendous amount of success here, guys, with just a couple of adepts. No resonating glaives. We didn't do anything silly with the oracles right now. And this game is a little bit of a massacre. I guess Namshar is just gonna full go for it, guys. He has dropped to 46 drones. We're just gonna rally the queens and roaches to the other side of the map. And Namshar is gonna try to end the big brain bouts right here with one big devastating push of roaches. Maybe a couple of ravages. A whole lot of queens. Jumi now sees it. He sees that the queens are already marching. He's gonna drop not 1 but 2 robos. Does need to get a few more static defenses here. We have a battery, not a battery. And a couple of cannons going up. I never like buildings touching each other. Kind of feel like these are touching each other. That's going to be a juicy target for Ravages. The stasis traps get activated immediately. Jumi needs to make sure that he also keeps on building battle units. He's supply blocked. Oh no. 91 out of 93 supply. Namshar is going to help him with that though. 24 links. Floodgates are open in the natural. As the cannon gets picked off the battery. This is still going to get very close. This game looks so sweet for Jumi. And now it actually looks very, very, very dire. As he does not have any static defenses in the natural. Nemchus is going to go ahead and try to break it open. Goes for the Cybercore. Gets the Cybercore. The Immortals are in production. Not quite out yet. I think one of the robos might get unpowered. No, it's just the gateway that gets unpowered. Nice rally point, at least on the Immortal. Big Daddy Immortal has his work cut out for himself. That one will also not unpower. Man, this backup pylon is amazing. As the queens are battling the Archons are winning, and it's starting to look like Jumi is pulling off a pretty miraculous hold. He's not there yet, but he has to. Oh, careful with your oracles now, mate. Honestly, you did such a good job at keeping the oracles alive. Immortal count is at 2. We don't have any batteries anymore, though. I think with decent micro, oh, with one more oracle does get picked up. Now the Immortals firing at the queens. Ah, Jumi's still not there. If all 3 oracles survived and he would have built a cannon and a battery here, then I'm like, yeah, he's totally got it. No, I think Jumi has it. But one more very, very scary Zerg push is coming. It is a full commitment by Namshar. Battery overcharge will... Oh my goodness, the balls miss on the battery. Because I think he tried to get the Archon and the battery at the same time. And that's obviously a mistake. Means that you cannot continue that fight. Now extra Zealots show up. And the Zealots are going to push the Ravager army back. Namshar is still doubling down, but now the Queens have all fallen. The Archons got a great fight against the Queens, while the Roaches were trying to unpower the Robos. But the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup pylon really saved the day. This pylon right here, guys, was the MVP. It allowed the Immortals to get out. And even though Namshar still has a decent army, I just don't think this is a fair fight. The Archons and the Immortals are more powerful than the Ravages and the Roaches. GG gets called. And we get a Game 5 in our main event. Man, co-main event, 5 games. Main event, Game 5. Hey, I think I did alright today, huh? Actually, Roddy the Matchmaker is back. We had 1-3-0, but it was a 3-0 with a very good Game 3. And maybe a Game 1 that could have absolutely gone the other way. Game 3 that could have gone the other way. So we had some good matchmaking tonight. That was a great hold by Jumi. Definitely not easy. It's the pilots, guys. Honestly, I love the decision of Namshar to go into the natural rather than the very well-defended third base. But Jumi with the not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 pylons powering the 2 robos. It allowed the Immortals to get out. Also, good job with the rally points on the Immortals. It's a very solid performance. MVP, most valuable pylon. Well, definitely wasn't LeBron. I saw LeBron drop the ball on the dunk yesterday. He's done, isn't he, guys? He's done. Lakers are done. I don't know anything about basketball, but I did see that clip. I didn't see the game, but I saw the missed dunk. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that. LeBron running to the basket and he just dropped the ball. Literally. Final round, guys. Absolute final round of a very long day of StarCraft with a lot of action. And not just this stream, but obviously the ESL masses as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had fun. Obviously follow the channel if you haven't done that yet. And if you're sitting on a prime that you just don't know what to do with it, I'll take it.
Final round. Fight!
Bottom right side of Dragon Skills. We are looking at the main base of the man that is representing K10. This is ForJumy. Staring at the barrel of defeat. But he left in the face of danger. And he didn't just have the Tasteless to his Artosis pylon. He had the Blizzard funding behind it. And he had a whole lot more. In the top left side of Dragon Skills, we are looking at the main base of our man representing Psystorm Gaming. This is Namshar. Oh, beautiful haircut. I love it. Gonna have some dinner soon, guys. I think my woman knows that I'm very hungry. Because it's been a long day. And if she's not here, I never eat. Which I know. Makes you wonder, Roddy, where does the belly come from? I don't know, it's my love for beer, whiskey, and chippies, okay, guys? It's not because I have a whole lot of big meals during the day. One final game on Dragon Skills. Who is going to walk away with the 150 bucks? Who is going to walk away with the 50 bucks? Obviously, this was all brought to you by Basilisk. I could not run the Friday night video games without them. I wish that I had $500 to give away every single Friday, but unfortunately, that is not quite a thing. But Basilisk is awesome. And obviously makes me happy to make these nerds happy and give you guys a bit of a show. We have an exclamation mark Basilisk in the chat if you guys want to show them some love. I think there is a comment for the Discord as well. Basilisk Discord. Feel free to use it. Feel free to post it. You love it. You wear it. You like it. You link it. You click on it. Give them a bit of love. As Jumi will go for the Stargate once more. It is the 5th game. I think, did we ever open with Glaives? Was there one straight up Glaive opening? No, right? It was always Stargate. Yeah. I mean, obviously we had the weird game with the pylon and the gateways on the other side of the map, but that wasn't quite it. I think what Namshar did in the previous game, if he would just do that all over again, he would legitimately have a... Ooh, can you attack me? You can, right? Yeah, I've seen this. This is cool. Oh, gets a drone from the high ground. LeBron, take notes. Steph Curry already knew about that spot. Klay Thompson also knew about the spot, but he shot at the extractor. It was just a disaster for Klay. This is a sweet start for Jumi. Like, when you're already feeling this confident with your depths in the middle of 3 bases, off creep, you got a drone, you get a couple links, like, you're just loving life. And that is why he feels that he can make this move out into the main base as well. Nice save on that drone. And nice save on the Adept. Namshar does always have a couple of links running around in the center of the map. Gets the Adept. Gets the Adept. I still feel that was a successful start for ForJumy. Now there are drones that are very exposed. Oracle could have activated Pulsar Beam. Oracle will Pulsar Beam zap away. 3 drones. Can he get number 4? Oh my goodness. Jumy loses the Oracle. Well, I did not see that coming. That is a loss that's not supposed to happen. I think with how good a lot of the other things went, no man overboard. No need for a picnic or panic. But obviously not a nice one. Oracle looks safe. Things are never what they look, man. And Namshar gets a kill on the battery as well. Jumy, are the wheels coming off, mate? I thought it was German engineering over here. Isn't that always solid? So, losing another 100 minerals when he could have only lost 25. That's obviously not going to help you to get over the Oracle loss. Queen range kicked in. If only there was a streamer that had an emote for that. Bounce CL Tempest. Does it still work? I don't know if it still works. I think eventually he fixed his prefix. It's the weirdest abbreviation for an emote ever. Pound CL Tempest. You type it and you get a queen on Twitch, guys. A queen by my man Gobbus. Couple of links just being a nuisance in the bottom side of the map, but there is a battery as these adepts are just gonna make their way into this mineral line. Namshar, where are the units, my friend? Namshar did not expect this move, and now all the drones are so far away from the spore crawler and the queens that the oracles can just zap away 4 days. And well, if Jumy wasn't over the Oracle loss yet, he should definitely be over it right now. Let's not lose Oracle number 2. This is a tremendous amount of damage. Namshar is just going for the I pretend that it didn't happen tactic. He's like, I lose 13 drones, I built 13 drones. I can build drones all day, every day. Well, obviously it's painful. All that lava, 17 workers falling in a 6-minute game. You'd normally say that it's over, but obviously players get exhausted too. They are human. And Namshar is very good at rebuilding workers that he loses, so does not have to be game over. If this was max specs though, I would tell you guys that it's game over. Masa is 1-0 up over Kalazur. Okay. That is very surprising. Where is that coming from? How is Masa suddenly so good? As the Oracle activate Pulsar Beam, snipe a couple of additional drones and a queen falling. This game is not getting any better for our man and Namshar from Svariga. We'll still, I think, have a chance because it doesn't take a crazy good economy to become a 4-base Zerg. Spam some queens, roaches, ravages, +1 missile attacks, a bit of creep. There is a chance. Same with Wayne. Well, but like Wayne is on a very high level. Sure, Wayne peaked this season at the ESL Masters. He definitely overperformed a little bit and we love it. But like Masa coming into the season, if you would have told me Masa's gonna qualify, I would have been like, I don't know, man. A couple of NA guys are pretty good. Masa hasn't been active for a while. And then in the group stage, the Swiss format, I would have never picked Masa to make it out. And the first series that I casted of him of the tournament, he lost, I think 2-0. And it just didn't look all that hot. And it really didn't feel that he was in shape. But he clearly has stepped it up crazy amounts. Speaking of stepping it up, we have Jumy here going for some multi-prong. Couple of Zealots and Archons. We have a War Prism unloading Zealots in the 3rd base. Queen of Namshar is going to die. At least there's a queen on the high ground. That was a funny fight. Roaches from the high ground as well. You don't get to see that very often. Well, I think at least one of the mineral lines is in shambles. As one of the oracles does die into the sport crawler, but all the drones are falling. There is still one Zealot, guys, just going rampage in the 3rd base of Namshar. In the end, the Archon and Zealot do get recalled out, but it just doesn't freaking stop. What is this? Like 35 drones dying right now? 33 drones have died in a 9-minute game. Now, Namshar does still have 74 army supply. That's a lot of High Templars. And this time around, we don't hit that 1 second window before Storm is ready, but he could maybe unpower a couple of the gateways. Big old Zealot warping though. Namshar is just gonna try to create chaos, but I'm afraid he's running into a meat grinder. The Immortal count is high, the High Templar count is high. And Jumy has a run by 2. Zealots are doing their thing on the other side of the map. The man who defeated Lambo not too long ago in the co-main event of the evening is looking mighty fine in this main event against Namshar. As the supplies may still favor Namshar ever so slightly, I think Jumy looked very good. Now I don't know why he didn't send another Immortal into the natural. Now taking a little more damage than I think he had to. Never count out the roach guy. Never count out the man with roaches and ravages. That really looked like the Immortals were just gonna completely blast away on these roaches and all of them are gonna get picked off. Jumy now needs to be very careful, man. Going up to 4 bases, spreading yourself thin. Sure, we have storms for days, but roaches, they can eat storms to the face. They don't really give a damn. This is actually a great engagement for Namshar. And Jumy made a big mistake going into the center of the map, exposing those Immortals, exposing all these High Templars before he had any batteries or cannons there. Oh my goodness, Jumy. Jumy. Can't you see? Sometimes these move outs, they just hypnotize me. That was so unnecessary, guys. He had so much patience on Ancient Sisteron. He could have just stayed near the cannons and the batteries and warped in a few more power units, and he would have taken great fights. But going into the center of the map, purely relying on Storm. Yeah, that's great against Lynx maybe, but not against Roaches and Ravages. Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. An unbelievable outcome of our main event. As Jumy did fire up the Desperation Void Ray, but that Desperation Void Ray is going to show up too late. A bit of a throw here in the final game that started off so promising and so many things went well for Jumy. But in the end, guys, it is old school that defeats new school. The man who peaked many times in the past gets the victory in the main event, a 3-2. That was very unpredictable and very close from the beginning till the end. Namshar gets the job done. He wins $150. Jumy still gets $50 for playing. Damn, that was something, guys. Oh, that was something. GG's.